Brown guy with tattoos. I think I'm covered. We're looking for a brown guy with tattoos. Perfect.
Is that the AK day?
That was the AK day. So
Chest blasted?
chest. He just won.
How about this? We'll give something for the listeners. All right.
Dude, if people understood that they can get slapped at any fucking point in time, they would legitimately shut the fuck up. Fucking take the labels off of this shit. If they want to drink the bleach, drink the bleach. So day drinking, and I was like,
I caught that. I'm like, motherfucker! It's 11.
We're at
It's
work.
11 o'clock.
It's 11 o'clock in the morning.
Work at least.
It's 11
I
o'clock
was
in the
at work
morning.
too, but I was like, yes.
Now it's time for you to talk about blood dick.
Right.
Why the fuck were you guys talking about that before the fucking episode?
listen.
Hashtag blood dick.
So awesome.
Listen. Welcome to the Covert Standard.
Welcome, everyone, to Covert Standard. I fucking love you guys. Here we got Bad Karma Live.
How's it?
Cabal USA. Fuck you guys. Clear malfunction, and he goes by the Nitro Panda.
I don't even know what that was.
What the fuck is that, bro?
It was a fucking noise. That's what it was.
No, not approved.
No
What's
one-
going on, guys? What's
Gals,
Gals,
everyone in
It's
between,
Hot girls,
transgenders,
thems,
Hey, girl.
theirs,
there's zebras,
and cats,
and unicorns.
and unicorns.
This got weird.
Zimzers?
Zimzers.
Yeah, I forgot about the Zims.
Yes.
The Zims and
How could
Zers.
you forget about the
Because
fucking
who the
that's
fuck
pretty
talks about
fucking
Zimzers?
rude.
I don't even know who they are. What are Zimzers?
Go ahead, Dillon, take the floor.
What
Let's start to
what
answer that for a second.
What are
No,
Zimzers?
no.
Terrible decision, but let's go into it.
So, we have a couple sponsors to
Well,
this
hold on.
podcast.
You're not gonna no bypassing. What is a Zimzer, Dave?
Oh, it's two separate genders, by the way.
I wasn't the
once.
one that fucking brought it up.
Hold on.
Don't come to me.
That's
at that.
two separate genders at once.
No. It's a Zim or a Zer. And now that I say this is probably someone that's getting pissed off. I am a Zimzer. How fucking dare you? Tell me.
So
What is that voice?
it's how you feel.
What is that? What happens to Sarah?
The one that hates the patriarchy. That's the voice.
Hold on. He hates the patriarchy.
That's what he said.
Okay, no, for real though. Okay, so it
Captain's
could
rifle.
be
Oh.
either a Zim or a Zer.
Right. Two separate genders.
Not a him or a her.
Correct.
So why did they rename it? So what is a Zim?
It seems like they're like really big fans of Invader Zim. That's what it sounds
Oh,
like.
bro! All right.
They want to be part of that. You know?
I like Invader Zim.
I love Invader
Did you
Zim.
know that Invader Zim's actually on Hulu?
Oh, Hulu, you.
No, they did. No,
Netflix.
Netflix. It's Netflix.
It's Netflix. Sorry,
but
it's one of them.
They did a movie. That's what they did.
Oh, it's not the show. I
It's
saw
not
it
the
when I
show.
was browsing.
Same thing with the Rocco's Modern Life.
Yeah,
they did the show. They did. I mean, the movie. Yeah,
That has Zimzer in it.
it did. Spoiler alert! It sure did. It was pretty good.
Sponsors, right? Dillon was about to go into that. Go ahead.
Yeah, enough of that.
So we have Cabal USA at cabalusa.co.
That was really enthusiastic.
This is terrible.
It's
Like,
pretty
we're
bad.
going good,
All right.
and then
Hey,
sponsors.
guys, listen. CabalUSA.co. We actually all have the right gear. That's the fucking slogan.
gear.
We want to make sure if you're carrying every fucking day, you got the right gear. We got holsters, t-shirts, fucking hats, fucking mugs, and the latest thing is fucking optics. I love optics and safety eyewear too. iPro. iPro is a fucking thing. There's something going on over there
What?
with
Why am I being
a
pointed at right
chasse
What did I
that
do?
Dylan looks
Oh, yeah.
disgusted
How
about.
easy that is?
Yeah, no, that should not be hentai.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
know.
Sorry, he's messing with some on a rifle.
Captain's
and I'm-
rifle.
Gunsmith is coming out of me. I just
So,
freaking out.
just
we're still
literally
going on
freaked
the... Go ahead.
Don't forget about your promo code for 15% off. It's
My
Covert
promo
Standard.
code. No, it's
Ours.
y'all's. Listeners, you guys get 15% off the whole fucking website. So you save more if you buy more. That's kind of how it works. You
Save
know?
more if
Fair
you buy
enough.
more. I like
Sounds
that.
good. And then our second sponsor is going to be Stone Cold Works.
Stone Cold.
If you were after
Works.
getting anything coated, specifically though firearms, if you want to get something Cerakoted, his prices are super competitive, and he is someone that does an excellent job.
So if you got some boring, plain, bland black gun sitting in the back of your safe, and you want that bitch coated to have pink flamingos and zebras on it, you can do it.
How random was that?
That was
know.
definitely my shirt. It's like one of my shirts.
I have to, yeah. Or if you want dinosaur bones,
So
on it.
not so
If you
random.
want a Jurassic Park gun,
A Jurassic Park
a
themed gun.
Cerakoted Jurassic
Cabal
Park
USA.
gun, go yes.
Yes. Went
No,
there.
Stone
No,
Cold.
no.
Stone Cold's there.
No, no.
Before we started recording, Chase, you were talking to us about a rabbit hole you went down.
No, yeah, it's a total
Alice in
rebel.
Wonderland rabbit hole.
Fucking people coming for our guns.
What?
So like Ruby watching that one. Watching about Waco and Ruby's Ridge and the Oklahoma bombing, and the guy that did the Oklahoma bombing was fucking pissed at the other two because the ATF, especially Waco, they were coming after. The ATF was coming after their guns, the Colt.
What happened with the Waco thing?
Yeah.
Explain it. Because
Waco,
I honestly don't fucking remember half of this shit.
I would tell you to start with Ruby Ridge.
Yeah.
That happened time wise. It happened first.
Look, I don't.
But
Let's explain
I
it for the
don't- but
fucking
do you think
listeners,
it was
man.
the reason
and entertain me too
I
while
know
we're at it.
you're acting like I'm veering you away. Trust me,
You're not veering me away. I was just asking
Ruby's
about it.
Ridge caused Waco, at least fed into it.
Okay.
Like
Go.
the fact that Ruby's Ridge happened before mattered.
All right.
At
It's
least
just-
to the public eye of that time.
See, I don't think it's as prevalent as fucking Waco was. Ruby's Ridge was, I think it was them going after his guns again, and then a federal agent gets shot. Or actually,
Okay.
it's
So,
county.
okay, I thought you might be able to expound upon this, but so the whole militia movement was getting popular in that era of like the late
Militia.
70s.
3%ers.
Yeah, the video you posted is still in my head.
3%, bro.
What fucking god.
Yeah, that video is
Sorry.
so awesome.
That video is great.
So late 70s, early 80s, mid 80s now, like militias are getting more and more popular. The like white power movement's getting more and more popular, and the ATF is of course all over that shit, as well as like the FBI and the federal task force, and they find a dude that's not really so much of like the white power kind of guy, but he's kind of getting in with this crowd. So they feel like they could turn him. Like they feel like he's reasonable enough of a person that they could turn him. So an ATF agent goes in and asks him to cut a shotgun down to like 17 inches. And so he does so, and then they're like, all right, I got you. And,
We got him.
right.
We got him, Jimmy.
Gotcha, bitch.
Right. And so, he doesn't comply. Like he's like, I'm not going to be your informant for you. Fuck that. And then it turns into this whole standoff to where his son and his wife get shot. I don't believe his son makes it.
And
Hold up.
Federal
So
agent-
his
federal
wife and his
agent
son
does.
gets shot.
Yep.
yeah,
Is this the one that actually they're like in their fucking ranch and whatnot, and then the fucking dog finds the fucking agents, and then the agents fucking shoot the dog, and then shoots the two kids that found their position, and then that's where the whole gunfight goes down.
So kind of close, actually. The kid had a dog with him.
Yeah.
And the dog started barking at the ATF agents as they were trying to come up on it. It was like
yeah.
more of a cabin.
Then yeah, that one.
Yeah, it was a cabin.
And that it's a 12-year-old boy, and he has a rifle with him.
I didn't know that was the Waco incident because
It's separate.
that's
It's separate.
Ruby's
It's
Ridge.
separate.
this is Ruby's Ridge.
Yeah,
Okay.
Right.
different.
Oh,
Right.
okay. So this is Ruby's Ridge, and then I did hear about this fucking story because Field Crash Survival actually posted it up, and then it's like one of those things he left it at like you be the judge of the
Sure.
whole fucking.
Like, was it a
incident.
clean shoot kind of deal?
Well, not even a clean shoot. It's more like, hey, this is a scenario. Government, in his opinion, he felt like they overreached because they're trying to do a fucking recon mission. That was the initial fucking thing for ATF and FBI. It was a recon, but they got the cover was blown, and they just ended up acting on themselves by killing the dog, shooting at the kid, a 17-year-old at the time. Am I right? Or
No,
16?
it was a 12-year-old
No,
shot
yeah,
and
he
killed.
was younger.
I thought, okay.
Wait, how old? What?
12.
Yeah, it was
I
a
thought he
little,
was 12.
But he did have a rifle in his hand, So it's like one of those things to where like
but it wasn't aimed at him. Like that was definitely in the notes.
Who the fuck knows?
It's either way. It was in the notes. But you're right.
There's
it's
no
one of those
there's no video
scenarios.
footage.
No one fucking knows.
Right,
You got to
right,
take
right.
the dude's word.
Sure.
And it's a fucking hard decision, no matter who is in that position. And so they shoot. They have a little fucking gun battle. Homeboy at the Ridge was with one of his best friends, and they both fucking were in Nam together, and they fucking know how to fucking take care of the shit.
Yeah.
And then they ended up having a legitimate gun battle. One of the guys gets shot. Homeboy's fucking wife gets shot with the baby in
Holding
her
him-
arms.
Yep, exactly.
While she was breastfeeding and all that shit, and it was pretty fucking vicious. And that's where they had a standoff, and Homeboy fucking gives up.
Right.
Because he just lost everything.
Sure.
Lost everything.
So that happens, and it's
And this is
society
because of a very simple situation, right?
Well, it's something the ATF caused.
Yeah, no, it's ATF. ATF's the problem.
It was a recon mission.
It'll be ATF again in the next one.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
So this is what feeds the public to really having it against the ATF. Like, these fucking assholes caused this. They shot this person. It's all like it didn't need to happen. Blah blah blah. So enter Waco. Chase,
is it my turn?
take it away.
So I Ruby's Ridge was what Dee described. It's good, yes, but fucking Waco was ridiculous. It is pretty much a cult group that was out in Waco, and give me a second, I'll tell you the fucking name of the guy. He was doing his own thing, and they're a branch of the Seventh-day Adventists.
Adventist, yep.
Thank you. And pretty much ATF was going over there because they were like doing a fucking like a whole stockpile of fucking weaponry, a whole shitload of them.
The Seventh-day Adventist or the cult?
The
No,
cult.
the specific. They're an offshoot. The Seventh-day Adventists. I don't want to like talk poorly of them, but they're kind of on the more extreme when it comes to the Christians. Like they're not to say that they're like a cult at all, but they're like, if you're going to be a Seventh-day Adventist, you need to take the shit seriously.
Yeah, got it.
Right.
Yeah. Like,
you're not like a passive.
You can't just call yourself one without taking
right.
it. Yeah.
Right. So, and these guys are like, yeah, you guys are weak shit. We like, we're really going to take it serious.
Okay.
And so, yeah, there's an offshoot that caused a cult. You come up with his name there?
David Koresh.
Koresh. Yeah.
David Koresh?
David Koresh. Yeah. Go ahead.
And pretty much ATF went there to seize said guns. They got into said shootout. A few ATF died. A few of the cult died. Then they get the FBI to come out. Then they have a fucking standoff, which lasts 51 days.
Damn, 51 days?
Yep. And then fucking FBI tried to do some tear gas to get everybody out, and they use a lot of tear gas. Well, that's what starts the fire. And then the fire burns, of course, and a lot of people inside of there fucking burned up pretty good. While there, a fucking, what's his goddamn name? Oklahoma bombing guy.
Now that's also caused by the whole situation.
And I'm sorry, that's what this is fucking talking about.
Apparently, I need to brush up on my history.
Well, that's what like I said.
Like, I've heard of these situations, but I couldn't recall them.
Bro,
I could give you so much more detail on what he just described. Like, there's so many things. So, like,
so they went to go seize these weapons on what account? Because they're just stockpiling?
No. They weren't just stockpiling; they were converting these guns to full auto. I was trying to bring up. I was trying to bring up the company's name. I can't remember the it starts with an S.
But actually full auto, or these like slam fire? Like,
full
auto shoot.
So there's this company. Okay. I was about to bring it up. I can't remember the name of it though. They actually went out of business because of this shit that happened in Waco, Texas. But they sold full auto Sears and full auto control groups, mail order gun shows all over the place because it's not illegal to have them. It's illegal to install them.
Mm-hmm.
And that's still a thing. Right?
And so, no, it's still a thing. Yeah. But they sent a fuckload of their shit to the Davidians, right? That was the branch, the cult's name.
Yes.
And so they converted all of them to full auto. The ATF caught wind of it. It was a big fucking shit show because the ATF decided that they wanted to make themselves look good after Ruby Ridge. And so they tell the media about how they're going to go raid this place before they go raid it.
Yes.
Which is what causes the Davidians to catch wind of it. And
yeah, no shit. Hey, we're going to tell the whole world.
Yeah, they told local media outlets and then like
because they really wanted to win and they wanted
to have the media there to capture how great they were.
That's why it was so shitty.
So it went to shit quickly.
Well, because they were stockpiling because they believed in the end times.
Sure, I mean regular cultist stuff.
Yeah. So
the world's going to end. We need to have guns to fucking fight.
So
zombies. That's what it's coming to.
Now, Oklahoma City bomber comes out. He derives from this.
So Timothy,
right? Also, there's conspiracy theories on who set the fire spot.
Yes, there is, but there is a big.
Who set what?
the fires. If
Who
it was
did
the
it?
FBI or was the inside of the cult.
So
they have
instead of doing usual warfare,
No,
they
no,
just
hear me
send
out.
them to the ground?
I don't know that I've ever seen it, but there was always talk of footage being out there of you could see an ATV with a flamethrower attached.
Oh no, I'm not
saying that that's true.
No, I know.
But
what I have read is fucking it was the FBI fucking threw in this tear gas, and this tear gas was a little bit hotter than normal.
Yeah.
And so pretty much that's what started the fire. They did a debrief or an after action report afterwards, and the fucking FBI is like, yeah, no, we don't use that type of tear gas ever at all. And then we're like, oh, here's the fucking, they brought the tear gas to them, and they're like, this is the tear gas that was in there. They're like, yeah, we use that. And that, some tear gas gets so hot that you can catch on a curtain, and then fucking that's what
when we say people caught on fire, you got to think this is a cult, so it's not like a bunch of dudes, it's families.
There's children's and fucking there's babies in there.
Yeah.
And so that leads to Timothy McVeigh, because Timothy McVeigh was there for Waco's shit because of Ruby. And then this is what fucking stemmed that.
That was a big thing. Like, a lot of people turned out. I mean, it was 52 days or whatever it was of the standoff.
Uh-oh.
This is going to kind of change a little bit. It's not going to derive too much. I just want to bring up something, right? So we can then... The conspiracy is that there was a flamethrower. Right. Obviously, they don't want to admit to a flamethrower because that would be...
more deliberate.
It's more deliberate, right? Like
that's definitely not a good thing.
Well, we're not allowed to use that anymore.
No,
right?
It's pretty illegal,
especially on a family.
You laugh, but this is why I asked that question. If that is an inhumane way to deal with a situation like that, then what makes it okay in Texas, right? What made it okay in Texas for them to use a bomb to kill the guy?
What bomb? For what?
Well, definitely very different because that's
is
not.
It?
Yeah, yes, it's different.
What
you have non-combatants versus having combatants.
What bomb? I'm sorry.
The one dude that shot some cops with an SKS.
Oh yeah, fuck that guy.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I'm not saying the guy was fucking good, but they used an explosive.
Was it? They used their own explosive, or
yeah, they used their own explosive.
So they use. So how do we solve that problem?
No. I'm not getting.
He's just asking if that's justified. How is
that's
Waco,
justified?
Texas
but
different?
how is a flamethrower not justified?
Because the Waco is a shit show in general, but it's them with their religious aspects and their religious view on things. Why are we going to fucking change? So
had there been
to
more
a certain
people,
degree,
then the explosion all of a sudden becomes no, you're not allowed to do that.
Well, it was one guy fucking.
Oh yes, for sure. You can't go murder children. Yes, that's a thing. But also, the whole nature of it was
so the cult had children in it and everything.
Yeah.
Okay. This is what I'm trying to get down to because you said something about conspiracy theory about there was a flamethrower, and I was like, okay, well, flamethrower is not good. Just like we don't use napalm in conventional warfare anymore. Right. We don't use Willie Pete's anymore. You know, I get it. I get those. You know, the phosphorus grenades. I get it. But like, okay, well,
if it's just some guys shooting at people who really cares about a flamethrower. That I get what you're asking.
I'm not trying to get into it about what would we do.
Cops don't have those.
Yeah,
if they had flamethrowers, yes, that would have been used on that guy.
That's what. Again, yes, fuck that guy. I'm not saying the guy's good. What I'm saying is that we say flamethrower's bad, but explosion is okay. Well, what if we flip the situation?
It's very different because these people didn't go out and kill some cops.
They just wanted to raid them for that, and then they ended up killing all of them.
They had their own fucking ranch compounds.
The thing. They're defending their property.
Right.
That's the shenanigans. That's why this is so fucking controversial.
Everybody's dead.
Well, there's after action shit. There's civil lawsuit. There's fucking a shit show.
So they fucked up again.
There's the people that were in there, the 7th. I don't have the correct term for them.
Adventist.
There was a tremendous amount of them that actually left. Not a tremendous amount. There were people that left. They got into a fucking car. They left.
Yeah.
They didn't want to be a part of that. Well, there was 82 other people that did not leave, and so that 82 people burned up in that building.
Yeah,
and those were kids. A majority of them. No, I mean, there were adults. They were
trying to say they accidentally lit the place on fire because of a tear gas.
FBI said that it wasn't them, and it was fucking.
I mean, it's not like the FBI ever came in and said, "Oh yeah, it's on us. It was a faulty equipment thing." They just straight denied it.
They did. They did until proof was brought to them, and they're like, "Oh yeah, that was one of ours, but we didn't do that."
Yeah.
So that leads to Timothy McVeigh.
Timothy McVeigh, this big piece of shit.
He's an old army guy. He was a big fan of the fucking, what's the book? I already said the book. What's the book?
Something Diaries.
The Turner Diaries. It's a fucking book that was not made by if you go Amazon, you look Turner Diaries, that is not the author that fucking made that on there. Made the author,
was it like militia group kind of underground book?
No, the author was actually an old astronaut.
Huh.
He was actually like very intellectual kind of guy, like the guy you would not expect to fucking make a book, and it's very racist. It's blacks and Jewish people taking over and white people being suppressed, and so they come up with a bomb.
Oppressed.
That one.
Suppressed.
Suppressed.
Yes.
Well,
suppressed.
We're gun guys. I don't know why that's like a question. But it's that, and there's a bomb involved in the fucking book there, and so Timothy McVeigh makes this fucking perfect bomb
replica.
Completely. I mean, I think it was identical. Is exactly
like it gave you the instructions to make this damn thing.
It made. Okay. There's a lot of shenanigans with the book, and so that's why I want to read it. And so that fucking was a shit show because the Oklahoma bombing was fucking travesty. Federal building.
Fucking horrific.
Yeah, but it wasn't even like it was federal building where they were like, FBI agents armed with guns. There were like kids.
Yeah, there was a daycare.
Yeah, bro.
It was a daycare.
But even then, like it was like, fucking county clerk office people. Like it wasn't
nobody armed, nobody that would harm any fucking problem.
Not like that makes you fucking,
I understand.
He said he did it because of like it was like a fighting the government kind of thing.
Yeah,
he was doing
Ruby
it for
Ridge and Waco, Texas.
That's exactly what it was.
It was revenge
for fucking taking the guns. And so it was just a dark fucking rabbit hole that I went into for that. And what else did I look up? Nothing good. There were two types of terrorists for domestic. There's the racial one and then the fucking anti-government. And so, anti-government, I think,
our
fucking
patriots,
3%ers, fucking, those kind of guys.
Oh, our anti-government?
Our anti-government.
Oh.
Where was the standoff recently?
In Montana, right?
Yeah, one of those, because they're...
The ranch that didn't pay for the fucking... Yeah,
they're using the federal land.
Right.
Anti-government guys came out.
My grandparents been using this since the 1800s.
Yeah, and I mean, whatever to that part, it's just I just like seeing how terrorism is, how common it is, because we've heard about
Do you think
Waco.
That's an example of terrorism?
Not that part.
Okay.
Fucking Oklahoma. Sorry.
Okay.
But that wasn't that long ago that this happened.
No, it's our lifetimes for sure.
Yeah, and it's just funny how you hear about it. But then, like, looking back into it now that, like, I'm relatively an adult, and so I look up things and want to understand.
It changes your perspective, though, of, like, all these things that you knew about when you were younger. And,
yep.
Yeah.
Oh, and, like, anti-government, like, the Waco shit, okay, yeah, I get fucking anti-government now. Mm-hmm. I understand why ATF sucks.
Yeah.
Because they do, because they're coming after us to take our guns.
Oh, yeah?
No, yeah, I just wanted to hear that. That's all I was saying. All right.
It's crazy because I know about these things. I just don't know enough about these things.
That's what I'm saying. You hear about it, they're shit and they're terrible, but then you look into more of it and it's like, oh, okay, I see why Timothy's fucking a piece of shit.
Well, I'm not going to lie. I don't remember half of this shit.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I don't either.
The second you guys start talking about it, like all of a sudden, like it's like a fucking Model 2 Ford. Just you're cranking it, and I'm like, oh shit, I get it. Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
I like the reference.
That's when you put the cranks in.
The Ruby Ridge thing I didn't remember, and I didn't read about until fucking old timers talking crazy shit at work in a gun shop. But the Waco, Texas thing, I was well aware of. I remember fucking watching that shit. I mean, I think it was 93, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I was old enough to make...
It was more recent than we thought.
The Ruby Ridge was like 92, wasn't it?
I thought that was 80s, but you could be...
I think it was 80s for that part. 93 for that, for Waco, and then...
92. On August 21st, 1992.
Oh,
Ruby Ridge?
Shit.
Yep.
So one fucking year after.
Yeah.
Well, and then
I also could see myself not hearing about that as a child, though. Ruby Ridge.
I heard about it in the military more than anything.
Siege. Well, and I mean, Oklahoma bombing was like fucking the year after.
Right, it was 94, 95, somewhere in there.
Well, no, it's like it was the year right after the fucking Waco.
Yeah. Have they done anything crazy? Any crazy seizures that we've seen from the ATF since, like recently?
The most recent thing was shit in California where they fucking found this abandoned mansion.
That's right.
That's the only thing. But there was nobody in the house.
So it's the guy that had like thousands of weapons. It was like
33,000 fucking long guns.
I would say there was reform on both sides. I would say that there was a pretty big shakeup in the ATF to not fuck up like that ever again. Mm-hmm. But also you saw a huge, particularly after the Oklahoma City bombing thing, like everybody stopped wanting to be associated with militias. Like, militias were, like, a fucking popular thing. And it wasn't all white supremacist fucking crazy nonsense. It was like we're going to fucking get together and train.
Yeah. But
it got associated with some white supremacist crazy shit. Yeah. And so everybody kind of was like,
us getting together to train, does that make us terrorism?
No. But also,
the way
it's not the same. Like, they were getting, like, decent numbers together. As far as the militia?
Podcasting. We're going to get decent numbers.
So,
we
the
already
Patriot Act.
Come on.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh, now we're going into this.
Oh.
Well, I didn't want to get to that yet.
Okay, well, we won't get to that yet.
Yeah. Not just yet.
Not yet? Okay. Because there's this the silver lining of that being passed that a lot of people don't know or understand. They just think it's Big Brother. We'll go.
Well, let's just go off the militia part.
Too many
that's what got into my head was the militia part.
Let's think about it. National Guard was initially fucking instated as a unregulated militia per state, correct?
It was more of a response per state. Yeah.
Response per state. Yeah. And then this is all voluntary, and you really don't have to fucking worry about fucking being integrated in any type of war. All of a sudden, they got integrated in what? The first war?
Vietnam.
During Vietnam, they actually got reinstated to be part of the government and whatnot, and then they were supposed to be released. That hasn't happened.
Still hasn't happened.
And it still hasn't happened. So they're still getting government checks, and that's why it's like one of those things, like it's still in the Constitution about, we're allowed to have a fucking militia, but the government never released the militia that we originally had from the get-go.
Sure.
So that I wanted to just point that out. That
actually really segues perfectly for what I was about to talk about.
And
perfect.
Boom.
Good job.
Hey,
I'm
here's why.
Proud of you.
Here's why I say it segues perfectly. So the part of the Patriot Act that is not hidden. I mean, if you're looking, you know where to look,
or if you can read,
is the simple fact is not only is it Big Brother watching you, right? They can hear phone calls and watch you and all that stuff.
Oh, that wasn't in there, by the way. They just did that shit illegally.
Batman. We're talking about Batman?
No.
Oh, okay.
It wasn't Batman.
That's
what I'm saying.
It's the fact that the government put it in a bill. The government does not recognize militia as a military force. And because they don't recognize militia as a military force, that means they don't have to pay attention to Geneva Convention.
Right.
Without them paying attention to Geneva Convention, then they don't have to sit there and just treat them like if they were treating prisoners of war, or having to aid them like if they capture anybody, they would have to administer aid and everything like that. So in layman's terms, if you're a militia, they don't recognize you as a military force. They could just wipe you out.
Yeah,
without Geneva Convention on our own fucking soil.
Yeah.
That's the real Patriot Act. That's the meat and fucking potatoes of the fucking Patriot Act, and that's what fucking.
So I have a couple things to talk about with that.
Don't be 3%er.
Don't
3% is right here.
Well, like you can't call yourself. Yeah.
So here's my thing. I don't know what modern warfare would look like as far as like a militia being part of that, but World War. There's plenty of examples of like World War II and probably thereafter of, say, German soldiers putting on American uniforms or Ally uniforms and trying to sneak on to American lines. And when we discovered them, we just shot them immediately. And it was not a breach of Geneva Convention because they weren't following Geneva Convention. If you were doing what is considered like outside of normal warfare, then the Geneva Convention's kind of out the window. So if you're talking about fighting a militia, I don't know if that would even apply anyways.
So, like, does that make it like guerrilla
a militia?
Kind of. I mean, that's the thing. It was so undefined. That's pretty much how a militia is gonna fight. So I don't know.
Well, they put it into this bill.
Oh, I get what you're saying. On
legit,
that.
so they can be like, well, it says it right here.
Yeah.
Because,
well, would you treat a militia as a military force? I mean, dude, we were built. We're a nation of militias. Like we were built off of this.
We were built off of it, and that time has passed. I don't think that we're a nation of militias anymore.
Only because they got accepted into the government.
Because of times being too easy. Because like when we're saying we're a nation of militias, it wasn't like we're talking about the National Guard. That's not what they meant, right? I mean, even when you looked at like the fucking 1800s of like Teddy Roosevelt wanting to go fight in the Spanish War, he was a general or a captain. I can't remember what his position was, but
I think you got it right.
He was pretty fucking high up there. And what made him high up there is because he just got a bunch of guys together. Like that's what
the Raiders.
That's what gave you a rank in military back then, because they didn't have a standing army. So if you were the dude to be like, all right, everybody, round the fuck up, bring your guns, we're gonna go fight these people. I'm in charge now of this unit. Like
Riders.
that's how
Rough Riders.
That's how our military
Rough Riders,
worked.
That's what it was.
Bro.
I said Raiders, right? Yeah,
fucking
Rough Riders.
awesome though.
Right.
Oh, the Raiders were great
but
too.
that's how our military fucking functioned back then, you know? So when you talk about modern times, it's so removed. I think everybody to some degree is kind of accepted, like, all right, it doesn't really qualify for it. We can keep our guns, and maybe a day will come to where we need militias. But more or less, everybody's kind of okay with the fact that militias are kind of illegal. If I'm not mistaken, you can't as far as like mass training, I think it's like 100 and some odd people. Once you've like gotten so many numbers of people together to train to fight in military combative styles,
we call them contractors.
It's illegal.
You have to have
special licensing and shit. Yeah, like you can't just get a bunch of people together and have them trained to fight. That's fucking illegal in America.
Well, what is fighting?
Well,
I don't have that, but I would say
this is not a judgment statement on any of that shit. Honestly, I don't fucking know. Like, do you think like none of this? Our government wasn't designed to be this fucking big.
No, it was not.
So, like, do you think it's a great idea? Like, could you imagine if like it was the other way extreme of like no restrictions on training and you can still go buy full auto guns? Like, do you think that's really a good idea?
Yeah,
I don't know.
Armed society is a polite society.
Good call.
I'm going to say that.
I'm going to say that it takes a small percentage to come in and ruin everything.
But
there's always, just like today, it's still a small percentage that fucks guns up all the time.
Yeah.
For like the two-way community, we're constantly getting fucking labeled just like we are exactly like these fucks. Last time I checked, if you drink and drive, you're a shithead, right?
Yeah.
So, but not all alcoholics fucking drive. Because they're too fucking lazy.
Yeah.
One, they're fucking lazy.
I love the purposes of not all alcoholics.
They're not all drive. Okay.
But that's what
that was good. I like
what I'm trying to get at. Like, you know, we're gonna fucking blame the car that fucking got in that fucking accident. No, we blame the person, not the fuck or the alcohol. Sure. We don't blame the alcohol or the fucking car. We fucking
trust me. I'm all about not blaming the item. But I also can see the reasoning.
It's a fucking tool, dude. You can't fucking turn around and just fucking blame. Look,
I'm not trying to blame the tool, but like, if there was a group of 400 people that all had full auto guns and were constantly talking about how evil the government was and how they kind of wanted to stop the
tyranny,
the de-whiteness of America, whatever you want to call it, like
Taliban,
the de-whiteness.
Like,
stop the de-whiteness?
Whiteness. Oh,
God. Or to de-white something.
So the whole point...
you're looking too much into it, Fred. You're looking too much into it.
The whole point of making that illegal is to stop it before it gets to, well, we're waiting for them to attack first to do something. Is that right or wrong? I don't know, but I can understand the argument at least. You know what I mean?
Or we're removing white people? Is that what we're saying?
That's what it sounds like.
Oh.
No. White people...
See? That's why I was asking.
That's what I'm saying. saying you're looking too much into it. And then I'm like, you know what? Fuck it. Go for it.
I assumed you guys were being retarded.
That's exactly what we were.
Yes, we were.
I'm talking about a large group of people that think that America, like El Paso shooter mentality.
Got it.
400 dudes with El Paso shooter mentality, with machine guns.
Then fucking 400 other people would fucking go against them, and they would shoot it up.
I agree if they were organized and prepared.
I mean, it's
speaking about organized and prepared,
tribe mentality.
Let's talk about the fucking bullshit that just happened in fucking Mexico.
How do we? Is that,
I don't know.
Is that a good segue?
That's his way of getting us the fuck out of this rut. I'm not going to fight him on it.
I like Dillon's body motion there to get out of the ruts.
You got to agree, Dillon. It is a little bit of a rut. So, but either way,
that's why I said I wasn't fighting you on it. Go on.
So,
tribe mentality.
Mexico. Cartel's son, leader of the cartel's son, actually gets fucking captured by the fucking government of Mexico.
What's his name again? I keep forgetting his name.
I forgot.
El Chapo.
El Chapo's son. Who fucking cares? Who fucking cares about the fucking names? Because we don't want to broadcast them. The issue here.
Good call.
Issue here. The fucking their government, Mexico's government, gives a motherfucker up under 13 hours. What the fuck is that? I want to bring that up. You guys heard about it?
They were outgunned.
Yeah.
I mean, there's
really
nothing
bad
more to it
when
than
the government.
I don't understand how it's possible though, because firearms are illegal in Mexico.
Yeah, what?
You can't legally
talking
own
about an armed society is a polite society.
So basically, you're lying to us right now because guns are illegal over there, bro. So there's no way.
There's no way.
You're making up shit.
Yeah, you're making.
Am I making up shit? You know what? You're right. The media didn't even fucking talk about it.
Yeah,
it's amazing how the internet fucking blew up on it. We didn't hear it in the United States.
Well, all those guns came from American gun shops, right?
Yeah, sure.
No, the CIA lost it during the fucking deal.
Fast and Furious. That's
seriously that's the liberal talking point is that
Fast and Furious cover up.
They're all from American gun shops.
What the fuck? No. Okay, no. Fucking guns are fucking illegal there, and it just shows you that the fucking law enforcement over there were completely outgunned by cartel, by criminals, by the very things that they want to stop by banning these fucking things. If you're listening out there, fucking think about this shit.
Ready?
What do you do? Don't throw the knife.
Well, he threw something at me, so I throw something at him.
By the way, I just let that sit there, and it just works.
Amazing.
I didn't do anything. I just let it sit there and it works.
Because Chase touched it.
Well oiled.
It's lubed. The answer is lubed.
Sperm.
Well spermed.
Yeah.
So
I liked the guns that they had. Fucking breaking out the saw, breaking out the M72.
Okay, so that footage was from Mexico.
Barrett, yes.
Because I saw the footage, and I think someone said something about Puerto Rico.
Yeah, so the one with the masks. No, the one with the mask, like the fucking purge masks.
Yeah.
That was actually from PR.
But yeah, nobody cares about that. We're talking about Mexico.
So, and then I mistakenly attached that with the same fucking.
Good job.
Yeah, my fault. And that's why I can kind of confuse you guys in a fucking group text. But this shit was happening live at that moment when I fucking sent it to you guys.
Fucking live streaming it like, hey, we're going to go fuck with these cops. Oh, my God.
But the crazy part is Mexican cops are coming up to the fucking business owners and like, hey, guys, shit's about to fucking get real. I recommend to get the fuck out of here.
Please.
Like now. And they're like, whoa, what are you talking about? What's happening? Like, we got news that shit's about to fucking go down here. I'm telling you this right now. You got about 1 hour. And then everybody's like, no, fuck that. You guys are fucking full of shit because they're so worried about, government taking over and all that shit. And then what happens? Cartel comes in and literally lighting up everybody in the fucking road. They don't give a fuck.
They don't give a fuck. Breaking out the M2, breaking out the Barrett, bro.
That is such like a piss in your Cheerios moment. Like they can't come back from this now. Now that they did that and they realize what they can do to their government, what are they going to do?
I don't think this is the first time.
I don't think. Well, I think this might be the first like major. Recently
it wasn't this big. Like when
I'm sure they fight all the time.
When homeboy Chapo fucking got captured, all they did were like, okay, that's great. We'll dig him out.
Yeah,
they fucking dug the motherfucker
but now
out.
It was like,
after what?
Do you remember
they did a 2-mile fucking hole with fucking train tracks on a motorcycle. They fucking dug him out from his cell. They had blueprints of the fucking whole prison. Yeah. They got to his fucking cell with no problem from the shower. It's like it's a fucking movie. It's a fucking movie.
The cartel be considered a militia?
Yeah.
In a sense, yes.
Ooh, see, brought it back.
Or a
full
gang.
circle.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's tribe mentality. You fucking put whatever name onto it.
Yeah, it's the same shit.
It's the same fucking bullshit.
Yeah.
So they're a gang tribe.
So speaking of
militia.
So we're a militia.
Have you
Claimed.
I will not.
4%er.
The Popo.
We just went up one. Us four just made it a 4%.
We still believe in the government.
So
4%.
there's all kinds of shit that's been going on lately. Obviously, we've talked about the Hong Kong protests. There's new protests that are happening in Chile, and there's new protests that are happening in Spain, Barcelona. I can't remember that Catalina. I can't remember the
fucking wine mixer.
Catalina fucking wine mixer.
I could tell you about the state, but I couldn't tell you exactly the name of the state. But basically, they're a region of Spain that used to be its own country, had their own culture, had their own language, and Spain came in relatively recently and said, no, fuck that. You're part of Spain, and made it illegal to speak the language. No
fucking way.
In the previous 50 years or so, there's been a movement to kind of bring back that culture. And I want to say 2016 or so, they had a vote to try to secede from Spain, and that didn't go over well. Spain said, no, that's not a fucking option, that you're breaking our constitution. Their like elected governor, which was essentially their prime minister, was arrested. And so that's led into full-fledged protests, which everybody going out during the street during the day and peacefully protesting everything. But my question is, at what point do you call riots? Because
we had this discussion
in Spain.
Assault?
No.
Battery, I mean?
No, I swear we had this discussion before.
In Spain, there's no, like, in Hong Kong, it was kind of, like, hard to say.
Oh, yeah.
In Spain, it's not. I mean, they're coming in as soon as the, like, nighttime's starting, they start throwing a bunch of shit out in the street to create barricades and start these huge fucking fires every night. And the people I'm paying attention to that are talking about it are still calling on protests. And I'm like, how is that a protest to set a bunch of shit on fire and create barricades? Is there a way you could see that as being a protest?
If it's the peaceful, relatively peaceful out, fucking walking down the streets doing that shenanigans. I think when you go into like fucking stopping traffic, stopping other people, burning shit, destroying somebody else's property, then that becomes illegal. So that would turn it into a.
So I just pulled it up, and it turns out that there's over 500,000 people in this riot, and they're actually considering it as a riot.
You're such a nerd.
No, well, we're on a fucking podcast. I want to make sure that we're actually putting out some fucking valuable information if we're going to fucking talk about it.
Yeah, excuse me.
Yeah, Chase.
No, it's not.
Yeah,
I'm not calling you out about it.
The head bob, too.
The fucking head bob.
Here's the
damn it.
Violence erupts in pro-Catalan general strike in Barcelona. That's how the title comes out to be. This is 2 days old. So, but yeah, there's a shit ton of fucking black smoke, shit fucking catching on fire, bins, rubbish catching on fire. And they're just constantly chanting that the street will always be ours. So it's the people. It seems like the people are actually standing up against the government from what I'm reading so far. Go ahead if there's more information that I'm missing on.
All I was going to bounce off of is what Chase just said of like if there's violence, if they're breaking the law, then it stops being a protest and starts being a riot. The problem is that you're making the assumption that you can trust the state to make that distinction, because that's not always the case. You have authoritarian, straight up evil regimes at times. You can't exactly allow it to just be a determination of the state because peaceful protests can be riots in certain states' eyes.
So during this riot, there's over 207 officers that were injured and 107 police vehicles were damaged and over 800 bins caught on fire. So there's some big-ass fucking issues. This is an issue.
Right.
So, and this happened Friday. So what's today? Today's Wednesday. Today is not Friday. So
I did the math.
Worse.
Yep.
Yeah. So I'm pretty sure
it's gotten nasty. Anybody pay attention to what's going on in Chile?
What are they protesting?
That's why I can't be behind them. Like that's why I'm completely against them. They're protesting the cost of shit.
Oh, Oh yeah, I do know what you're talking about.
They're complaining because they were going to raise
gas.
it was transport. Most of them people take the metro, and so they're going to raise the rates to the metro. And apparently, cost of transport there for the average person is like a fifth of their income. So it's a decent amount of their income. But you don't and of course the response to the metro is going to be more expensive is they fucking set some shit on fire and burn down some stations, fuck a bunch of shit up. But you can't. That's not how government works. You can't just demand shit be cheaper. That's I can't get behind a protest that's your fucking movement of well, I don't like how this is working out, so fuck you. We're gonna protest till you change it. Unless it's due to a bunch of corruption of the government that's causing those prices to go higher, that's not really the
okay. So you're
fault.
saying this, and then there's going to be some people rebuttaling,
Sure.
What was the whole fucking Tea Party movement about? Taxation on the people.
Tea, bro.
We took advantage of the government fucking bringing in the tea and taxing us, and we just hit them where it hurt them.
So
from my understanding,
what did we do about it?
We threw all the tea overboard into the harbor to say fuck you to the government.
Right.
That's what, am I missing that part?
Tea Party, bitch. 1775.
Sure.
Oh.
I mean, I have more to say to it, but it's because of my knowledge
I'm
on
asking,
it.
I'm asking about it.
So if you
people were complaining about, at that time, the taxation, or raising the taxation of that time.
Yeah.
You're like, you know what? Fuck you, government. We don't want to pay that, so we're going to get you where it hurts.
It wasn't as much the taxation as it was the control. So
okay.
I showed Hefe. I almost called you Hefe.
He sure did.
How dare you?
What the fuck?
He does more.
He's not white.
He said
no
jiu-jitsu.
beard.
In his head, he's like jiu-jitsu guy.
Freddy, you're number 2 now.
Wow.
Yeah, that's what
You just labeled me number 2.
So
Yep.
Freddy,
I see where I am.
watched
I
this
see where
video.
I am.
No, bro, you
I
can't
see
recover
where- I
from
see
that.
where- I'm turning around.
He's going to turn around on the podcast.
Turn around.
And I
every now and then.
I highly recommend everybody that's listening watch it, and I highly recommend you guys checking it out. It's from a
Not gonna happen.
YouTube channel called Political Juice, and it's the history of the Second Amendment.
Yep.
And it's a very long video,
Yep.
but it details literally the history of the colonies and what they went through to create the colonies, create their own society, and then a king dies, another one takes over and decides that they're going to fucking screw over this colony that has built something from nothing and has been through bitter wars with the locals and had no support, been through, really rough weather. They finally built something that's profitable. And then the British comes in and says, "Oh, well, you don't have the right to rule yourself anymore."
Yeah, this is our land. Even though you've been living in it and you conquered it.
Well, not only conquered it, but you settled it.
Shut up, number 2.
You built this into something that's now worthwhile, so now we're going to take it from you.
Yeah.
And that was a lot of what it was about. The taxation without representation was definitely a piece of it, but they came in and said, all of the people that you've chosen to be in charge, they're not in charge anymore. You don't get a fucking say in how anything goes.
And I need you.
And that was way more of what fed into that than it was anything to do with a tax.
Yeah.
And I need you more than ever.
Oh, my
all right.
God.
Can we go into something stupid now?
Yes. I got new tattoos.
Safety on? What?
Safety on or off?
Okay, we
but
can go
new
with
tattoo?
that.
Let's hear it.
New tattoo.
No,
Where is it?
we'll
On the
talk about
blast? On the fucking rocket ship? What's going on?
So
Did you get a fucked up
I like the story
wheel
behind
gun
it.
again?
No.
Oh, dude, he
Oh,
went
there's a
Florida
story.
chick. I can
No, he
see it.
didn't.
No, you didn't. You went white girl wasted?
He went white girl
Shut up,
wasted?
just
There
listen
ain't
to
no
me.
laws with claws.
Oh, my God.
It's on his thigh.
Okay.
Oh.
But hold on. Listen to the story before you look
That's
at
a
the tattoo.
Motard spot.
It is a motard spot now.
It's above the knee.
Oh, more Motard.
So that way I save the thigh for my bigger pieces I'm going to do.
It's
So
on your dick.
there's a project by a guy
Big
named
piece that I'm going to do.
Sorry. We
There is a
we drank before, bro. I don't know what you want.
There's a project going around in the jiu-jitsu community by a guy named Mason. He's a brown belt that trains under the same school that I train under. I've known Mason for years. I knew he did jiu-jitsu. I had no idea like where he did it and everything like that. And the guy travels the world all the time. Like he tattoos just to see the world. And guy's a cool guy, right? Anyway, tattoos out of the shop I do. I get a message in the group chat that we have for my school, and they were like, yeah, they're doing a project. He's trying to do 60 tattoos, and it's an art project that he's trying to do for the community, and it means it's a big meaning behind it. So they got the entire Central Florida jiu-jitsu community to do this like art project. And I mean, we had people from American Top Team, the Jungle, Fabulosa, Gracie Baja, like all of the big schools around.
Muster Station.
That
jiu-jitsu schools.
Not a fight station.
And they do these tattoos. And with
hashtag.
And the whole idea behind it was they're not going to tell you what it is yet. You just got to show up, and then you have to just agree to get it. Like, it's part of it. So the reason, the meaning behind it is.
So you got this, right?
The meaning behind it. Yes, I did. The meaning behind this is that you don't know. It's supposed to represent your first time walking into the dojo, and just like the hardest belt you can get is the white belt, because you have to make the decision like, I'm going to do this, and then dedicate yourself to it, and then all of a sudden you're in the jiu-jitsu community. But not only that, but he also does it in order. No matter what time you walk in, you get the next tattoo in line. Yeah. So everybody wanted that end tattoo, right? That end one where it's like they tighten the belt. Everybody wanted that one. And he literally told them, like, if you want that one, then you don't understand how this works. Don't get the tattoo.
That makes sense.
Because it's about the process of the jiu-jitsu community. And it also is supposed to stand for togetherness. So there's 60 people out with a unique tattoo that he made, and it depicts you tying your belt. So it's like a
let me see
claymation. It's like a Pictionary. So they took pictures of 60 people, and then as you play it along. Book. It's like a flip book, and it's about tying your belt.
Thighs.
I like the claymation though.
So so it doesn't matter what it is.
Is it? Let's see it.
Hold on.
Let's see it. Take your pants off. No, take your pants off. Jesus Christ!
You can see it from here, motherfucker.
No, I want to see pants off.
Right there.
And that's what?
I can't.
It's him taking. It's basically the part where you put the belt in and you're tightening the belt before you make the second loop for the knot.
Gotcha.
I got it right when he's pulling it tight. That's my tattoo, but I couldn't choose it. It's the next. Okay. I had to get the next one in line. So when I showed up to get this tattoo, I had to get whatever one is next. That's the one I had to get, and that's what was next. And it goes all the way from 1 to 60. Made 60 of these things a drawing, so that way you could put it all together in a video. So it shows you tying your belt, and all these meanings that I was just telling you is what it's about. So because jiu-jitsu is a really big thing about me now, especially I've been doing it since the beginning of this year. And I can tell that it's changed a lot of my mentality. It's changed my life a little bit, and added on to like the improvement of my life. That I was like, dude, I want to be part of this like art project.
We're doing.
Are we fucking battling right now?
Are we doing stand up?
No, I thought we're standing up.
No.
I just was standing up so I could show my tattoo.
My leather chair is like really fucking hot right now.
So this actually kind of feels good.
I actually dig it.
But so the tattoo.
Hey, Dillon, you want to stand up, man?
I like it because I'm part of this art project, you know. And I like tattoos, so that's why I got it.
Proud of you.
Yeah, I like it. It's
proud of you.
I like the meaning behind it.
Besides,
it's cool.
Besides that whole story that you had, I'm just happy that you did the fucking jiu-jitsu thing.
Yeah, me too.
Because it's just a step. That's all.
In the right direction, man.
Oh yeah, it's just a step on that. So safety, no safety. And Dave, you brought this up, so go.
Oh my god. So there's so much shenanigans going on fucking interwebs and whatnot, especially in the fucking gram. They're talking about, is it better to run without your safety on your fucking rifle? Or is it fucking kind of nuisance in a sense? Because everybody always brings up, well, the Glock doesn't have a safety, so why the fuck should your rifle have the safety on? Because your trigger finger is your safety. So it's like one of those things, like it really doesn't fucking matter when it, like as far as the argument, so I brought it up to Chase, and then I was telling Chase, like, yeah, you can do hip fire, and then you walk your rifle up.
Chase had a fit.
And Chase almost lost his fucking brain. What? Like, it almost came out of his fucking nose.
Whoa. The brain's gone, bro. You can't give him that much fucking credit. The brain's already gone.
Talking about my dick. What's going on?
That took over. So, he is the epitome of his dick.
Right? I am the captain now.
Thank you.
So yeah.
I'm the captain. Every day he fucking like looks down his waistland. I am the captain now.
He gets ready in the morning. He's just like taking a shower, and he just looks down. He like flops it around a little bit. And he's just like, I am the captain now.
It's like, what did you have on the back of your head? That fucking thing?
Yeah, it took over.
That's Voldemort. That's my dick. Voldemort's talking to me, bro.
Voldemort.
Turn around.
So I am the captain now.
Sorry.
Yeah. Stop this being distracted, bro.
Stop being distracted.
Coming back. Let's bring it back. All right. So I was telling him that everybody's saying like, you know, you shave seconds if you fucking don't run without safety because there's a lot. I know because a lot of the senior guys fucking do it and whatnot. So it is what it is.
He puts little hats on it.
We're still talking about fucking Voldemort over here.
He gets distracted for a long
shit. He's all about the fucking TikTok right now.
This is what we get.
You sure he's a Marine? Because he's acting more fucking National Guard than ever.
Oh,
he puts a little cape on it. This is my superhero.
Point taken. Got it.
Point win game. All right.
So.
Go ahead with your nonsense.
So the argument was that a lot of fucking senior folks, SF guys, fucking used to rock without the fucking safety because they're trigger discipline, quote unquote. So I was asking Chase about it, and then Chase fucking lost. Reference. Yeah, he's like, "We ain't in the '80s, bro."
I mean, it is okay. Like a lot of the nonsense with gun stuff is because they've seen it in the fucking movies, and it's like senior. I know.
Okay, let me jump in here first for a second, just to save you. I can tell you need to be saved.
I don't need to be saved.
Oh yes,
Voldemort over here.
No, he's
got me for life.
We already talked about it like earlier today. It was fucking hilarious.
The thing I saw that brought this very conversation up, and maybe it's totally different, it just happens to be, but I saw on Grand Thumb's Instagram of a guy having a pretty long, detailed thing about going and training with the Israelis and him proving that, you know, just carrying around in the chamber is always faster than not, and how making that analogous to having the safety on, safety off. From the gunsmithing perspective, to pretend that it's the same on an AR as it is a Glock is incorrect, because there are passive safeties you're engaging on a Glock that you're not engaging on a rifle. That said, I think it seems silly, personally, to not train to that. I think that probably more than anything stems from.
He's passing fucking notes in here.
Yeah,
what are we doing?
That's cute.
What is this?
He's getting jealous.
I think more than anything that stems from people not being willing to train.
Poop out of a booty hole.
Train to something new.
Why? But see, okay, so even with your fucking terrible debate, probably not your terrible debate.
It was a conversation piece that I knew we have 4 different opinions. Yeah. And it will set somebody off. And oh my God, I was excited with the result.
Why would we? Because to my understanding, we're going to train one way because we're operating by ourselves. But then when we go into a team aspect, so safety on and safety off. You go ahead. It's fucking shit coming out of an ass. That's what he drew.
I mean, I think it's.
You're actually a pretty good artist.
It's an interpretation.
Just to let you know,
it's a
I like your doodles.
Rorschach.
I like your Doodey. I like your Doodey doodles. Like, by the way,
ooh, Doodey
the Doodey doodles. I like the.
That's
Doodey
a rap
doodles.
song, bro.
Bro, he doodles dicks and shit all day long over there in his fucking corner of the studio.
To a
like,
rap song.
like look at what's in front of him. I guarantee there's a pair of tits and probably a dick over there. What the fuck is on that paper? What did I just fucking say? It's on the same paper.
So we got a dick and a pair of tits on the cloud. The fucking rocket dick flying into an ass.
I told you.
That's an 80s song, bro.
He's fucking Doodey doodling. Doodey doodling over there in the fucking corner over here. Hashtag Doodey doodling.
Hey, I'm really fucking excited about that last drawing because, like, the girl has dimples and all that shit.
Bro, it's pretty good.
There's dimples on them fucking back. It fucking looks good.
Dimples, a really nice little curvature there, and a really well-formed piece of shit.
Impressive.
I can't shit that perfect. That's a perfect piece of shit.
Well, ladies shit perfectly.
They shit perfect.
Because they only poop in the fucking bathroom.
Hashtag
they only poop in the bathroom?
Doodey
what does that mean?
What? I've never met a girl that fucking shits in the woods, bro.
Well,
there was this one time.
Oh, please do tell. Well, is it story time? Story time.
Wait, I mean, what happened to our fucking safety on, safety off?
No.
We
story time.
He started passing around this fucking piece of paper.
We went
story
to
time.
poop.
Story time.
Poop. No, we don't have enough time.
There is enough time.
The safety on, safety off thing reminds me of something I would have thought of before I started training.
Ouch. That's to the community.
I mean, that's being real. That's being real.
Chase Savage on the fucking studio floor.
We're not going to try. The debate is
he's just like right after Dillon talks, he's like, ouch.
If we're soloed, we're doing it by ourselves, safety off. But if we're doing it with a team, safety on, why the fuck are we training to 2 different standards? That's stupid.
Don't train 2
That's stupid as fuck.
Always train. Nah.
You know, you're always going to have the guy that's always going to be talking about situational. It's all situational, bro.
I hate you.
Yeah, because that was me. I said that earlier.
He just mocked himself right there.
He did.
That's it.
He's so grown up today. It's not even funny.
That's how the conversation went down. He's like, so you're going to do this in your own house? I'm like, yeah, I know my wife is not going to fucking back me up.
Damn.
And she's right there, and it's like, I'm going to get my rifle.
She's like, grabbing
let me get my vest on. Hold on. Okay, go ahead. Shoot him.
The funny thing is Dave's been slowly arming her, like, over the years that I've known him. And he still thinks she's not going to
what it is because he buys something, and then he buys something for her.
We discussed it today.
You motherfucker.
So that's what's happening.
So, look, guys out there, we all know we come home with some fucking gift for ourselves.
Yeah.
And then, like, the lady friend fucking finds it. Friend, guy, who fucking knows? I don't care if you swing fucking unicorn or not. Just,
Zimzer.
you need to bring... You need to bring something else for your significant other. If you don't bring something else for your significant other, you're a fucking douche. That's how you're looked at. In a relationship, you don't want to be the douche unless you're trying to be the douche.
There's another word.
Unless you're trying to be there, bro.
There's another word for that.
D, go ahead.
You know who else is a douche?
You pulled up your phone and you have this.
Syndra.
What is that?
That's the AR company that made all the full auto parts for Waco, Texas. Bullshit.
And we go back an hour.
An hour.
The community, Waco, Syndra.
You know what?
That's what he's talking about.
I'm over here
I thought he was talking like sexy to me. I was like, what's going on?
Ladies and gentlemen, on that note, that is another episode of the Covert Standard. Of course, your loved ones. We have Bad Karma Live.
Hold on. No.
He's like, don't pass by. No, keep it going.
I've got Cabal USA from CabalUSA.co.
Whispers back.
I'm sorry, guys.
I am the storm.
Don't forget to use that promo code.
Love you guys.
Covert Standard for 15% off.
Yes,
I've got clear
the whole website. I fucking love you guys.
And
keep it going.
Oh my God.
I am the Nitro Panda. You can check us out on all social media platforms. Look up Covert Standard on everything.
You guys are awesome.
And follow us on Instagram. Love you guys.
Send nudes. All of the nudes.
Send all the nudes.
Send all of the nudes.
That's
fine. Dick pics included.
Yeah, no, we'll take them.
Send it to the Nitro Panda.
Cabal USA would like all dick pics sent to his email. Thank you.
As long as you use the promo code Covert Standard.
Yeah, 15% off.